What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. This is episode 73 on location at J&M Seafood in East Setauket. You guys got to come down and check out Matt and the crew. Thanks for having us here today, Matt. This is awesome.
Thank you for having us on the show. We've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah, man, this place is beautiful. You did some job here.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of work, but we eventually got it done. You know,
and this was from scratch. Everything in here is new.
Yeah, I mean, we trucked out about 7, 8, 30-yard dumpsters of waste, and we were down to 4 cinder block walls, and it's all brand new.
Yeah, you guys got to check this place out. I'll put some videos up here and show you some of the seafood that's in the cases here. But this place is unbelievable. It looks really good. You did a great job.
Thank you.
And you also have J&M Seafood East Northport.
Correct.
And thanks to Jacob, you were the grand prize sponsor for Bay Rats and Buoys' first annual Striped Bass Invitational.
That's right.
So we greatly appreciate you jumping on board, and you were second place winner. Jesus. Guy won the tournament. He almost beat everybody.
We like to keep it fair, you know.
So this is funny. You told an amazing story at the boat show, and we'll get into the seafood here and all that stuff, but we just brought up the tournament. Tell them quickly how crazy that morning was and what you experienced, how people just bailed, and it was complete chaos.
Something you see out of, a major tournament, boats taking off in all different directions. Everybody's, crap talking before we shoot the line. And that day, I don't know if you remember, we got the best of all different types of weather.
Oh, yeah, everything.
So it was, it made it challenging, but interesting for everybody.
It was insane.
Yeah,
it really was.
But
you stuck it out though.
Yeah. We were those nutcases that were out there in 3 to 4 blowing 30. But we had a good time. It was a lot of laughs and catching fish, and it was all for a good cause.
Right. We tagged 65 striped bass.
I mean, I think it was very successful.
Rich was reeling in fish without a shirt on. We saw
my guys were crazy. My crew's a little nutty. But it's a bunch of good guys, and we had some good laughs. And like I said, it was a nautical day, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we were very grateful that you jumped in. And again, that was thanks to Davy Jones Shellfish Company.
That's right.
Jacob. I mean, it's amazing the connections that we have. You don't realize you have them until you get the phone call and you're like, hey, my buddy wants to talk to you about.
Exactly, yeah.
And so, thanks to Jacob and Davy Jones Shellfish.
For sure, for putting us into contact with each other. I seen you down the dock, but I didn't know, how in depth you were with this whole thing.
Right. Seatow, commercial captain.
Everything. I mean, you're the jack of all trades.
I'm the jack of some, master of none, one of those phrases, So a lot of work went into this. You could see it here, the detail. And like I commented about the decor and stuffing right away, you said, yeah, that was my wife. And I knew that because it looks way too good for you to pull this off in here.
Great.
But no, I'm kidding. You did, from the floor to the showcases to the woodwork and the logo, which actually matches my table here. This really doesn't look too far out of place. The place is amazing. So if you guys haven't been here yet, the reason we're here is to let you know about it. People are walking in the door right now to come buy seafood. It's 10 o'clock. They're open on a Saturday morning, and we're here podcasting. Come on in. We're just doing a podcast show. That's all. We're live. So between East Northport and here, you built up East Northport, and then you decided it was time to grow.
Right.
What was it like taking that step?
So this place, they were a customer of ours for a number of years before we decided to get involved. And my goal was to open another place and just kind of expand on the name. And when we came in here, we liked what we saw. We saw the potential, but it was also, I'm going to say we bit off a little more than we could chew as far as the renovations went.
Right. You didn't realize it was going to be 5 layers of wall there.
It was going to be that crazy, flipping over the place, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But like I said, when we got in here, we took down a ceiling tile, ripped down a piece of a wall, and I said, there's no other way to do it than to start fresh.
Got it.
We were down to floor cinder block walls, a dirt floor, and everything's new. You
can see it. Yeah.
The guy that was here before, he was here for 40, 50 years. Great business, good guy. And it was us just trying to revitalize what he did throughout those decades and bring this back to life.
Wow. Yeah. And so you're also very involved in the wholesale end of this because your East Northport shop that place is buzzing. You know, and that's a unique location.
Right.
You know, my dad actually had a store across. Actually, he was in your area in that shopping center Plaza to start, and then he moved across the street to 275, where it's now a dance studio.
Right.
And Graziano took over. He bought that other store at the end. That used to be my karate dojo.
Oh my.
Yeah, back in the day, that was a karate dojo where he extended that bridge over that overpass.
Right.
So you have a very unique location in there, and for a small shop, for a small retail shop, you guys do you have every owner of marinas and restaurants and all these people coming to you. Tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, so we moved in there, and we didn't really have any intentions of getting involved in the retail. It was more so a wholesale distribution hub for us. It was perfect because we had a lot of parking. We were kind of off the beaten path, so there's not a lot of people to interfere with the daily operations. And, you know, we service probably about 40 clients on a daily basis, all different types of fish from, you know, fresh tuna to frozen shrimp and things like that. But, you know, and then in around 2020, COVID hit. And the restaurants, they were, thank you very much.
Great store, great fish. Thanks for the compliment. Appreciate you.
But that was another avenue for us to try to, you know, move some product. You know, it was essentially we were shut down overnight. You know, there was no warning.
No, that hit like boom, done.
It was like wildfire.
Yep.
And we were sitting on tons of inventory, and I said, you know what, let's give back a little bit. You know, we were bottoming out all our prices, just trying to get rid of inventory.
Sure.
And from there forward, I set up a little 5-foot stand in the store, and we started, you know, opening up to the public to be able to buy this. We had a channel into different avenues to keep the business in existence.
Right.
And luckily, we got some traction with that. You know, we were in there for about a year and a half to where we said, you know what, we got something here. We should expand a little bit. And simultaneously at the same time, another unit came up for rent in the building, and we rented that unit. We built it out. We put in a small kitchen. So now we do prepared foods as well as the fresh seafood.
Right.
And from there, every year it just gets busier and busier. But it's just plugging along and channeling into different ways to evolve the business.
Yeah, which you really did. You grew it real well. It's a great location. It's right across the street from Hewitt Square for anybody that's in the East Northport area on Lockfield Road. There's a convenience store on the corner. You go around back of the convenience store. So
yeah. It's like the speakeasy of fish. You know?
Right. It's a hidden entrance. It's VIP only, actually. You know, you really got to be a very important person in East Northport. But people come from all over. Yeah. So, I mean, you got people traveling from all over to come to that store.
That's right. Especially during the holidays, Christmas being the big one. You know, we really specialize on carrying a wide variety of fish as well as shellfish. And we deal with a lot of local baymen as well as boats. Our trucks are in the market every night, you know, for items that we can't get locally. And the store is essentially a 24-hour gig. I mean, whether somebody's coming in at midnight or leaving at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, somebody's always working.
Right. It's around the clock operation. It's
100%.
It's not a 9-to-5 job. You signed on to 24-hour operation.
100%.
And then I see you on the water in 3-foot, 4-foot waves out there trying to catch the fish because you're an absolute madman.
I try to sneak away once in a while. You know?
Well, you did a good job sneaking away last year and then you disappeared because you had this going on. So we understood why you disappeared as far as seeing you out there. But you were out there, you know, a lot, you know, which is good, which we can't, you know, your wife's going to watch this. She's going to know.
And then I'm in trouble.
And then you're in trouble. And that's how it goes down. But listen, you got a lot of great things happening in your life. You might have to leave here because the water breaks. He might have to leave right now. The water might break right now, and he's got to go.
I'm on standby.
He's on standby. So congratulations. There's nothing better than that. It's absolutely a blessing. You know, God wish you a healthy baby. It's all you could do, right? Is wish for a healthy baby. So God bless you. That's awesome. All right, what else? We got to talk about some of the fishing that goes on because you are hardcore. You are. People don't realize. I mean, you just got to call. So we'll tell them. Listen, somebody's boat just sunk in the harbor. We got high winds. We're not going to say who it was, but somebody, high winds came in and boats sink.
Right.
Shit happens,
It's tough. It's tough.
And, that's why I'm always down there. I'm sending you pictures of what your boat looks like when I don't see you for a week saying, hey, your boat's okay. We all look out for one another.
I think we went through a 2-month span where I said, Gage, is it still floating?
Yes, it's still right. Is it still there? Right, exactly. But months prior to that, I mean, when the bass was hot, I mean, we were out there. You were fishing right next to me. It was you and Rich.
Right.
And we were in we were in the rip.
Yep.
Not everybody knows where the rip is. We can say the rip.
Yeah.
So we were in the rip and we were just lighting them up.
Yeah.
And then we had Peter next to us.
Yep.
He's yelling at us, what the hell are you guys using?
That's right.
It's crashing into your boat.
Yeah, no, it was definitely interesting. I mean, the fishing was incredible this past season. We were, I would say we were blessed with the amount of fish that we were able to catch.
Oh,
I mean, it was constant action, and it wasn't like they disappeared for too long, We got them pretty much the whole season. They were there.
Yeah. When you catch them in July and August, something's good.
Right.
But you don't just target the striped bass. You actually target all species, and you killed it last year on the fluke even.
Yep.
And you had some secret hot spots, which you guys text me. I'll give you all the Latin longitudes. I got all the spots. But no, we don't do that. They know better. But you really had a good season out there.
Yeah, we did a variety of fishing. Fluking was good this year. Striped bass was good this year. My favorite is got to be hands down blackfish. We did phenomenal with the blackfish, and it's a tricky thing. It's not just drop the line down and catch a fish. It's anchoring. It's which way is the wind blowing? Which way am I going to swing onto the piece?
Right. And, with the rocks below and break off. Am I in the right spot? You can be off by a few feet.
And it makes a difference of, is the tide going out? Is the tide coming in? And that makes a difference on when they're going to chew.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
like I said, we had a couple fish, up 9 pounds, one that was tipped at 10. But it was good to see how good the fishery was this year. And every year it seems to be getting a little bit better.
Right.
But by the end of the season, by like November, it was like, that was it.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember asking Undy any 10-pounders because he was like, no, we haven't had any 10s yet,
Right.
There was a time where he came back to our marina and he was like, yo, can I borrow your scale? I have this big digital scale, brought it over. And, he had some really nice fish they had caught.
Right.
But this year, not a lot of 10s.
No,
but it was very consistent as far as, keepers and good bite.
It was a good mixture.
Yeah. Corey and I actually catch keeper tog right off our dock.
Really?
Right off the dock.
Wow.
I have no problem telling everybody, come down to the marina, fish it all day long. I'm just kidding. Don't come down to the marina because we'll kick you out. But yeah, you could fish from any dock. I don't think people realize that.
Right.
I don't think they realize that you can actually put green crab on, sit at a dock, and you're going to catch tog.
Especially on the days that it's blowing, crazy northeast.
And you can't get out. Right.
It's something to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys do it all the time. They come down to different marinas in our area and fish. Now, I actually texted Jacob on the way over here.
Right.
I had him on the phone. I was going to call him and say, what's the water temp?
Right.
Meanwhile, I know how to check the water temp. So what did I do? I went and checked the water temperature. It says 37 degrees right now.
Right. It's still cold.
It's still cold. We had a cold winter, but historically, when we have a cold winter like this, and the bays actually freeze across from Northport to Setauket, the Great South Bay, Montauk had waves of ice coming over. We usually have a good spawn. So we're going to see this year how it starts off, because that magic water temperature gets up around 55. That's when it's lights out.
Right.
Right. We'll still get them at 48 degrees. 49, we'll still get them.
Once you get up into the 50s.
Once you get up into the 50s, that's when they get out of that lethargic stage and they want to chew a little bit more.
Right.
But I was talking with Brandon from Causeway Bait and Tackle, and we were talking about there's not a lot of adult bunker for them to feed on that early in the season. Okay, that's why Raritan Bay is such a hot spot, because they all come down out of the rivers and come into congregate in that one area. And we throw small swim shads.
Right.
You know what I mean? To stay with what they, match the hatch. So we try to pass that on. Now, I should have brought some here today to show you. But you'll come to our next fishing club meeting. If you can make it. I know you got a baby on the way. You're not going to, your time.
Hopefully I'm not in the delivery room.
Your time's going to be limited. But yeah, I got to show you some of the new stuff that we picked up at these shows recently that you're absolutely going to love.
Right.
You're going to love. You remember last year some kid casted a lure on your boat?
Oh, forget it. It was like the Wild West out there. I mean, where there's 15 boats racing up to the school fish. And, next thing I know, I got a John Hopkins in the front of my boat. And it's like, there's fish everywhere, not just under my boat.
Right, but he was throwing at your boat.
He's throwing at the boat. Yeah, yeah. But that was a first time experience for that.
That wasn't the regulator with the kids on it, was it?
No. This was kids in a little tri-hole, packed down, 17-footer with about 5 or 6 guys.
That's right.
There's lures going in every direction.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. It gets a little chaotic out there. But you know what? The reason I brought that up is I love the amount of youth that we see leaving our harbor and our area of these kids that are hardcore like me and you. Mm-hmm. And that's what I appreciate about them. I just wish that parents would teach them a little more etiquette.
Yeah, sea etiquette.
And it's the etiquette that they need to learn. They're good kids out there. They weren't jerks. They're not yelling back and forth at you and looking to start trouble. We had one incident out there last year on a charter, and they realized who we were and wrote a message apologizing because they didn't realize that they thought we was somebody else. It was literally a case of mistaken identity. They thought we had wronged them previously. We were the boat that wronged them previously, was running over some of their lines and stuff. So they yelled over to us, and then they realized it wasn't them. They wrote a message and apologized.
You don't know. A lot of these boats look the same.
Yes.
And you don't know who you're talking to, and you don't know who's on the other side of it. You don't know who they know.
And everybody knows somebody in our area.
There's always chatter. Everybody knows somebody. And, it's just, we're all out there to do the same thing.
To accomplish the same goal. And we should all be on one another's side. And it should be a community that comes together and not works against each other.
Yeah, people shouldn't be yelling at each other, and there's enough fish for everybody.
There really is. There really is. And speaking of the community, that's why I brought that up. This year, we had the tournament last year, and we had that squall that came through. So 8 boats, I think 7 or 8 boats wound up leaving during that squall because they were small boats. Right. And, a one-day tournament is great. We accomplished a lot. We take 65 bass, but me and Corey wanted to do more. We wanted more tournaments. We wanted it to be, so we created the fishinglead.com.
Right.
Bro, when I tell you the response that we're getting from people that want to compete for 8 months, from April 15th to December 15th. Now, keep in mind, if you don't put your boat in on April 15th, you're not going to have your boat in April 15th.
No.
Right?
No. I'll be lucky if I get the boat in this year at all.
Yeah. Well, you might sell it. You might sell it because boats sink in our area. They're already looking for yours.
Yeah, right.
So we started the fishinglead.com because we wanted to have a season-long competition where every month it's a new tournament that resets. It resets that anybody could win any month, but there's an entire point system that accumulates over the whole season so that at the end of the season, we can have one champion for each of the 5 divisions. And we didn't want to leave anybody out.
Right.
So the guys that fish from the shore, I always felt like they can't be in the same tournaments that we're all in because it's a boat tournament, shotgun start,
Right.
So we created a shore division league, and I got to tell you, it took off instantly. They were the first people to sign up for the league.
Wow. You got a lot of guys that fish off the beach, and like you said, a lot of the tournaments are really catered towards fishing vessels.
Right.
And, now you can incorporate everybody. Maybe they have I don't know how it's structured, but maybe they have their own division.
They do.
There's
a shore solo. I'll tell you what it is. It's a solo shore division. And then there's a team shore division. So if you have a bunch of buddies that you guys are driving on Democratic Point, and the 3 and 4 of you are always going out fishing, the 4 of you could be a team.
Right.
You come up with a team name, and now you're on you have a shore team that challenges other shore teams in that one division. You're not competing against the boats.
Right. It creates that rival.
Right, exactly. That the guy next to you could be on the opposing team.
Right.
And you want to land the fish to have the right lures and whatnot.
And it helps level the playing field. A lot of the guys in boats could get to where a lot of these guys can't. I mean, if the fish aren't next to the shore, they might not catch anything.
When I tell you we figured this out, like it took 6 months of like brainstorming and really hard work on it to even get the website up and going to make it happen for this year. it's all explained on the website because there's a lot of questions. People have questions like you're saying, hell, maybe there should be a division for them. Well, there is. This is a division for youth and family. So if you have a 16-year-old kid or under on your boat, you can register for the family and youth division. This way you're not competing against guys like you and me and, guys that are hardcore fishermen. They're in the open division.
Right.
Then guys like James Joseph and Chuck and these other captains that actually run charters that want to compete against one another can enter the captain division.
Right.
So that they're out of the public. They're not up against me and you because they're better than us. Well, they think they are. It doesn't mean that they're better. Yeah. I'll tell you that. Because I have pictures of you and your boat out there. We got to talk about that rough day out there, bro. It was me, you, and nobody else. There may have been one other boat out there with us.
That was an interesting day.
You were doubled up. You had 2 bass on the boat, holding 2 bass up in a photograph.
It was wild. I mean, I would go up to the bottom of the wave and Gage disappeared.
Yeah, you exactly.
And I would go to the bottom of the wave and I disappeared. It was nautical to say the least, but I mean, the fish were turned on. It was chaotic.
Those days are the ones that were always rewarded. When we go out in crappy weather,
right? Those
are the days we find the bite is unbelievable. And I think it has to do with the barometric pressure.
Oh, for sure.
As that storm comes in and approaches, that bite is it's on fire. It really is. And that's why I try to educate people, even like the fishing club that we created. We would teach and I showed the guys all the lures that we use and, educating them so everybody could be better at what we love to do. Just want to get better.
I mean, since me and you started hauling around, I could tell you right now, my tackle box has expanded significantly. Trying things I normally wouldn't do. I mean, I stick to the basics because usually they work. But he says, yo, you got to try this. And I did. And it was like, oh my God, you can catch fish like this?
Right. And you won you didn't just win second place. You actually won prizes in the tournament.
That's right.
Too. And you got the Tony Maja trolling, the Outriders.
Yep.
Which, we're very grateful for. I saw him last weekend. I just posted a picture of him up on Facebook. Tony Maja was at the New Jersey Saltwater Expo. He's a sponsor again for the tournament. He's going to get involved in the league. Anything to do with, striped bass. He just made Tony Maja blackfish rods. And so I like his trolling rods that we have on the boat when we go on charters because the setup, everything matches. It looks really, really good. And I love that. And the action on these rods is just, they got it dialed in for trolling, whether it's spoons or the mojos.
Right.
And you were crushing it that day on the mojos.
Yeah. They were definitely cooperating that day.
Isn't it amazing the color change that they hit one day?
Yeah. I mean, we're going back and forth trolling the greens, and I can't get a bite to save my life.
To save your life.
I look over, and you and Corey are just doubled up, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
And he's like, white. And I said, all right. I put it down. Before I put the boat in gear, we were hooked up.
Right.
It just made that much of a difference.
That color changes. You got to pay attention to what's going on with the sun and the clouds and what they're going to see it and how they see it. But wait, there's another day we were out there. We were out there for the famous, I think it was a Thursday, where they had lockjaw.
Right.
Do you remember that day where
you couldn't get them to go?
It bunker, we're live lining, we're doing everything. And nobody's catching. I think the Soundbound was even out there with us.
Oh, yeah. Everybody was there.
Everybody was there. Because when the fish are here and the word is out and you know what hand they're out, that hence Bay Rats and Buoys, because we all fish different buoys. That was really where I threw that in. You're a Bay Rat. You're out all the time. And it's what buoy you're going to be at. Meet me at 11B. I'll see you at 15. I'll see you at 32, wherever you're going. And that's really where buoys came into it. But when the word is out that they're at a certain location, that next day, you're going to see everybody out there.
Oh, yeah.
But there's that day that we knew they were there, but they're not biting. What the?
And like you're sending me pictures of marking them stacked top to bottom. I'm seeing the same thing. And it doesn't matter what you put down there, parachute, a mojo, a diamond jig, live bait. They wouldn't eat anything.
They didn't want anything. And it's what creates that lockjaw for them. And it's was there a temperature change? Is the barometric pressure? What causes them to have that lockjaw? Because that blows our mind that we're seeing them, but we can't get one to bite. Not one.
Yeah, right.
It's like it's
frustrating.
It's like a signal goes out and they're like, nobody eat.
Yeah.
It's like, holy cow. So you were out there for the lockjaw day. We had some epic days out there together. We had a great time fishing. We really did last year. It was great seeing you out there that much. Now, what can we do We got Lent right now, so people are coming into the store. It's been nonstop since we're here.
Yep.
People are coming in quietly too. They're like,
You know what? Normally here they don't stir until 11 o'clock, but I think you brought in.
I brought the early wave.
Yeah, that's right. You woke them up early today.
Come on, you guys want to jump in the background over here? Because I talk about you on the podcast all the time.
That's right. That's right.
And I gotta correct the names here because I called them the wrong name last year. Now we got Angelo. Now, I called him Antonio last time. And that was me being just a, complete retard. That's all it is. I admitted it to him this morning when I saw him. I said, you're famous for being Antonio on the show. But that was it. I see Cody and Rich.
Yep.
And when you guys come down to the marina, it's just like, uh-oh, here comes the crew.
Here comes trouble.
Here comes trouble.
We got the same group of guys all the time. We all have like the same schedule, so it works. We like fishing. And we've all known each other forever.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for a long time together.
Now, he's so humble about it. Rich's dad is like, he's like a legend.
Rich's dad is a different walk of life, should I say. I mean, he used to own a party boat. He owned a bait and tackle shop. The guy is the blackfish legend.
Right.
I mean, I've gone up and fished with him in Rhode Island. And
is he up in Cape Cod or is he in Rhode Island?
He's in Point Judith, Rhode
Thanks,
Island.
Angelo, for making your appearance.
Yeah. But, he knows when they're breathing on the line. And it's like, how do you know this? And we're out there fishing. We break the jetty. This guy has spots that are 2 minutes from the dock. There's all these head boats going past us, going up to Rhode Island, Block Island, all these different places. He's 10 minutes outside the thing. We're catching 10-pound fish.
Right. Because he knows there's some guys that just know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Pete out in Port Jeff right here.
Mm-hmm.
He knows when all the boats are over here fishing, he knows to go over here, and in 10 minutes the bite turns on, and when it turns off over here, he goes over here,
right.
And it's on over here. I mean, there's guys that just know.
Yeah.
And those are the ones you want to learn from.
Right.
I don't pretend to know it all.
Yep.
You're like, this year I found new lures. We're going to learn how to cast them and use them. 3 years ago, I never used a flutter spoon, or maybe 4 years ago, I had never used a flutter spoon. I'm like, a flutter spoon?
You know what? I used the flutter spoon. I wasn't good at it, and then you kind of gave me a little tippage on what I should do with it, and it was like night and day, and it was like, all right, these things really work.
Oh, my God. It's unbelievable.
It's the same thing. It depends on the color. Do they want gold? Do they want silver? Do they want it with the edges on the side of it?
That's right.
It all makes a difference on what's happening that day
and what the light situation is. And that happened with Kenny on my boat. Me and Corey were hooked up on gold. Kenny had silver down. He couldn't catch one to save his life. The sonar is from the floor to the top of the water. You see 30 and 20 pound bass, and he couldn't catch one. The minute he put gold on, it was instant.
Yeah, yeah.
So I love passing that knowledge on to people, but it's day to day.
Yep.
So if you don't teach them why that color changed,
right,
not knowing when to apply it, doesn't help you much.
That's right.
Right,
yeah. And you put that in your tackle box, and now for next year you added another thing to your arsenal, and you just keep flipping different stuff at them.
100%. And what I recommend with a lot of people is when the fishing when it's great. We know those days where you could almost put anything down and it's just nonstop action.
Right.
Do that. Try different stuff. Put it down. See what they do hit and don't hit.
Right.
I put the vibe down, the little vibe. I was catching fluke.
Yeah.
Fluke. We're going after a mini vibe that I'm getting down to the bottom and bringing it up. How aggressive they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a couple nice fluke actually on the flutter spoons.
Yeah.
And I was like,
what?
They had to come off the bottom to eat it.
Yes.
It's like
they're very aggressive.
Yeah. As well as small ones, too. I mean, a couple, 13, 14-inch fish that are taking down an 8-inch flutter spoon. It's like, what's going on here?
Right. How do they even think they could swallow this thing? Like, what made them go after it? It's their predatory instinct.
Right.
Now, were they chasing it out of there? Were they just trying to bite the tail off of it?
Right,
Just get a little nibble?
Yep.
Or were they trying to inhale the whole thing? So nobody knows fishing better than you. You're out there, you know the tides, you know the wind, you know all that stuff. But when it comes down to the wholesale and the retail side of seafood, you really know your stuff. This store is amazing, and we got to get people in here. We got to let them know about it. Tell them a little bit about something you got in the showcase, why they should come here.
So a lot of the stuff that we bring in, we try to source it locally, especially in the warmer months when we're getting stuff off our local boats, whether it be golden tilefish, tuna, sword. local fluke, sea bass. We try to keep it as local as possible because we're on an island and we're surrounded by some of the best fish. Like we're shipping fish to Florida, Georgia, Carolinas, where they might not get some of the stuff that we're getting here. And people don't realize what the island has to offer between the fish, the shellfish. Out east, we got a big oyster program going with the local farmers like Jacob.
Love Jacob.
And I mean, these guys are killing it.
Yeah, he's crushing
They
it.
started, it started off as nothing too crazy, and they're building it into an empire out there. And, especially here, because we have the wholesale, it allows us to keep the fish very immaculate and super fresh in our retail stores. Because what's here today is not going to be here today. It's going to get flipped out, sold to a restaurant tomorrow. And it's constantly a rotation.
It's a constant turnover.
Exactly.
It comes in and it goes out. It's not sitting around.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's the kind of buyers we have here on Long Island, too, as far as the restaurants, like you said.
Right. Like when you come in here, you want a piece of fluke. I mean, you could eat our fluke sashimi grade. The tuna, you could eat raw. People make ceviche out of the black sea bass. It's just the freshness and for what the island has to offer most of the year. I mean, people think, winter months, there's no fish. That's not true. These draggers, as long as the bay doesn't completely ice and they could get out,
right,
we're getting fish.
Right.
And if we can't get it here, all right, maybe we'll get it out of Jersey, so it takes one extra day to get up here. But it's still, as fresh as it could be off the boat.
Yeah, it's amazing. And what Jacob's doing out in the Peconic is absolutely lights out. He saw a sign he put on Facebook, help wanted.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he's in trouble.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's just growing. I mean, he's in the same situation as me. We started off, on a little scale operation, and you put in the time, and it just grows.
Yeah.
And he's killing it.
His literally grow.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right. That's right.
He actually puts seeds in the water, and they actually grow. But to his credit, he's a super smart kid. I love Jacob, super smart, but the biology behind it and the water science to what he does,
right,
he knows everything about it.
Oh, there's a lot that goes into it.
There's so much involved. It's not like just putting oyster seeds in a tray and putting it down.
And there's a lot of study that goes behind it. I mean, before he even got into his lots, I mean, I'm speaking off speculation, but
right,
you need to know the water salinity, what's the movement through the area as far as the tides go.
Yep.
And it's not just, all right, let's put some oyster seeds down and maybe they'll grow in a few months.
And maybe this is a good spot.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's so much calculations that go into.
There's science behind it.
Yeah, it's crazy, but he's very smart. He's been on the water his whole life.
Yeah.
So a lot of that helps him out with making the right judgment call. That's all it is you got to make the right judgment call.
Absolutely. And he's the one I want down there with me when I'm spearfishing to make the judgment call, because when I tell you, that kid is hardcore.
I saw the picture of you guys
in Glen Cove.
Is that where it was?
Yeah, it was the Glen
That's
Cove
wild.
jetty he wanted to go hit. And let me tell you, I was so intrigued looking in the caves that I'm swimming around and I'm down looking in the caves, and I'm looking in the caves. I didn't realize I went around the entire jetty. I was on the other side. By the time I came up to even look around, I was on the other side of the jetty. That's how much I was looking in the rocks for the tog.
You had to do a double take and figure out where you were again.
I was like, oh my God, how did I pass these guys?
Yeah.
I was just having so much fun looking in the caves, looking for the fish.
Right.
It was so wild. It really was. But a video that he showed me of him sitting with the striped bass is what really turned me on to that.
Right.
And he was on episode 4. We're on episode 73 now, and he was on episode 4 of Bay Rats and Buoys, telling his spearfishing.
That's a lot of skill too. I mean, I believe that's the one where he mentioned the silhouettes and how he practices the right slot size and everything. I mean, when you're down there, it's not what it seems to be.
No,
as
everything
far as
looks
size. It looks bigger.
Everything looks bigger to you in the water.
Right. So that takes a lot of practice, and it's really just years of knowledge to be able to do something like that.
And just to hear the school of fish, I heard an engine. Here's a great example. I'm new to this. I'm in the water for the first time. I'm trying to get my fin on, and I'm ready to go. I got weights on. I think I'm going to sink and die. And I get in the water, and I'm swimming along, and I hear an engine. And I'm like, oh, my God, that boat is going to hit us.
Right.
Like, this is going to come right across on me. I look up, the boat's like a mile away.
Yeah.
That's how loud the engine was. And then when you actually see a school of fish, you could hear their fins flapping underwater. You can hear a school of striped bass.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So what Jacob was teaching me is how to hold your breath. How he stays down for the amount of time that he does when he does a drop in. And there's it's a sport. It's a science to it all, to what he does. That's what makes me want to do it more and more. I really want to hone in on that this year.
Yeah, for sure.
And learn. It was so cool. But kudos to him out in the Peconic with the oysters and whatnot. Now, what about shrimp and stuff and clams that we have here? How's that as far as a commodity here on Long Island?
I mean, so you get shellfish is, people don't realize how much shellfish is harvested off the island.
Yeah.
Wild. It's all hand dug, most of it. That's a big part of our business. We have a lot of wild shellfish diggers, and every day they're bringing in, clams and oysters and such like that through our wholesale gets distributed all throughout the Northeast, as well as down south. We have a few places down in Florida that we sell to, and there's an abundance. There's a lot of stuff, razor clams, steamer clams, not just your regular little neck,
right.
Other sizes, but there's a lot of stuff that it offers.
So digging clams was something, thanks to the Rosmus family, I got started at in high school. I actually got a good taste for it and how hard it is. You don't see any young kids out there doing this.
No.
It's a dying occupation as far as a generational thing.
That's right.
And nobody's taken over a dad's clamming business because he busted his ass out there. But my dad wanted me to pay for ice hockey. It was $1,500 a season. I got a game tomorrow night. I'm still playing, and I'm not digging clams anymore to pay for ice hockey. Right. I'll tell you that. But back then, you had great forearms because of digging the mud. You were in great shape.
That's right.
And it's hard work.
Yeah, I mean, I did it a little bit at the end of my high school into college, helped pay for college, and I got on the tail end of it. It was still decent, where you could make a decent pay. It beat the hell out of working a job, 40, 50 hours a week when I could work on my own terms. I'm out on the water enjoying, simple things like a bald eagle flying over my head.
Right.
The
ospreys.
Yeah,
the fish in the water, the things you see.
That's right. In wintertime you see seals. But being able to work on my own terms and pull something out of the ground to turn it into a profit was like
incredible feeling.
Yeah.
It is. It really is cool. It's a lot better than cutting grass.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we all did that as a kid too. I mowed lawns. I did landscaping. We tried it all. So the East Northport shop, the East Setauket shop, I mean, it doesn't get any better. This place is brand new. When I walked in this morning, I mean, it's like the walls, the ceiling, the light, everything, the ice machine, which I'm stealing ice from today. Guys, the Diet Coke ice is coming from J&M Seafood today. I need ice in my Yeti. And John with the Pepsi distributor, he's awesome. He really is. And we got some really good guys in our fishing club, And you're welcome to come down to the meetings anytime when you're free to get away from the baby. Right. We want to get you involved. Hopefully you do get to put the boat in this season because the babies are going to want to go out on the boat.
That's right.
They don't have to worry about eating fresh fish. You get that here all the time.
Yeah.
Is there anything unique that you could bring in every once in a while that you have to bring in, and now it's Lent or a certain holiday, or do you bring in anything unique?
So our halibut comes out of Nova Scotia up in Canada.
I remember them cutting it that day.
Yep.
Rich was scaling it.
That's right.
And Angelo is the king filleter. He's the master filleter. Yep.
Hats off to him for that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I saw him filleting fish. I was like next level.
Yeah. I mean, salmon is another big thing. That's probably the biggest seller between wholesale, retail. We go through metric tons weekly. We're cutting it in-house. That's imported from the Faroe Islands. So just the salmon alone is like a full-time job for somebody to cut.
Right.
Just to stay on top of our wholesale customers and as well as supply the retail stores as well.
So as long as you keep all 10 fingers, Angelo, you got job security.
That's right.
Because I keep telling Corey that. He's filleting fish. We're coming back in on the boat, and Corey's filleting fish. And I'm like, dude, it's getting a little rough over here. I'm going to slow it down. And he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, bro, 4-finger Corey doesn't help me.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't need 4-finger Corey. I need 10. You got to have 5 fingers on each hand. Oh, he put a fluke up on top, a fluke that was dead. He put it up on top of the fillet board. Went to make a cut in this thing. One last limp of life. Whoop! Thing jumped, went in the water, and the customer's like, whoa, what happened? And we turned the boat around to go get it. The fluke was gone.
Yeah. Right back to the bottom.
Right, right back where he wanted to live. He was like, nope, I'm not ready to be filleted. So Corey was like, all right. I was like, all right, no more on the fillet board.
I've been there.
Yeah, we've all had fun stuff happen. Trials and tribulations. You got a brand new engine on the boat. It's a great boat. Your boat is a great boat to fish our area. It really is. That's why you're out there in 3 and 4 foot swells, you lunatic. Give me some of the trials and tribulations of people, like we're all ready to, get them de-winterized, put in the new oil, and paint the bottom and splash them down in the next 3-4 weeks.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, I think I'm ahead of you this year because I did change the oil. The wrap is already cut.
Okay.
With the anticipation that it's going in, but with the second baby on the way, that might throw a wrench into things a little bit. Hopefully my wife will allow me to get out there. He's with me on this one.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's got to get out a little bit. He's got to represent Team J&M.
I will say, June 27th, I will be fishing.
Yes. That's a great tournament this year. That week before, believe it or not, we were talking about the youth. The one product that I'm showing off lately is Go Deep MTK, which is something I saw at Goose Hummock's booth. Phil at Goose Hummock had an amazing booth at the New York Boat Show, and I saw a lure that I just fell. I was like, wow, this thing's amazing. This thing's going to crush it.
Right.
And then I found out the reviews and what I heard about it. I was like, it is crushing it. So I was like, okay, I got to get a couple of these. So we wound up meeting the company and meeting Anthony, the owner, and whatnot. And he's trying to promote youth fishing out in Montauk with like a 2-week tournament for the last 2 weeks of June. So I said I can come out there for the week before my tournament, but the 27th and 28th, we're actually going to do a 2-day tournament this year.
Okay.
For us. We're going to start at a Friday night, midnight, and go to like Sunday, 12 o'clock.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then after the 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, maybe 8 to 1, 7 to 1 on Sunday morning, we'll just let it go through all the way around the night, end it, and do Sunday with a little awards ceremony over at one of the places there in Huntington.
So what you're saying is now I'm going to have to stay out there for 48 hours? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you don't need permission for this. I'm granting it to you. You have 48-hour window to fish the tournament. And you'll need a babysitter, maybe some in-laws.
Yeah.
You'll need assistance.
And a pillow because I'll be sleeping on the couch after that.
Maybe a nanny. Oh, yeah, no doubt. There's plenty of this, and this place is nice, and I would sleep here. If you said to me, Gage, you're out, you got to sleep here, work here, I would definitely. This place is nice enough. It's nice to see the foot traffic. You have a very busy parking lot here.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's early. We started this before you opened. People, They saw me walking in, and they were coming in behind me. I'm like, I kept the door. I'm like, what time you opened? And you're like 10. And her face was like, I just need some fish.
Yep.
But you get great compliments. I mean, she said, salmon, she wanted a specific piece of salmon, and she'll be back.
Yep.
They love barbecuing it.
Yeah, it's just really catering to them, and that's why we also, the variety in the case, we flip up what we have, try to change it up, and take advantage of the stuff that comes in locally.
Right.
Because, like I said, again, people don't realize what the island has to offer.
Now, here's credit to you because you opened up a second shop. That's a big venture and a half. That's a big leap of, business-wise. It's a big commitment. But I got to say, after coming to East Northport location and getting to know you guys, your staff is the reason you're growing the way that you are. Your staff is absolutely top-notch. They're the best in the business.
1,000%. I mean, you got to remember, we're there some of them, 6 days a week, 5 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day, sometimes overnight guys. It becomes your second family.
Yeah, Rich is a lot more than just your wingman.
Oh, yeah. We've been through a lot. And the same thing with Angelo.
Yep.
I grew up in the business, working retail. I've worked in the fish market in the city.
You were a maid on people's boats.
I was a maid on people's boats. You know who you are.
He was the third place winner.
Yes,
he lost to you. He lost to you by a half an inch.
Sometimes the teachers get taught, but there's more to learn. But it's all about who you surround yourself with, and it was trial and error. We're going into our 10th season at the other store, and
it shows.
Yeah, people come and go, and eventually you find the people, and it clicks. And as me and Rich like to say, they're down with the sickness.
Right, even down to the cook.
Right. Oh yeah. He's a team player. You know, we'll
Unbelievable.
bang out on a Friday. It'll be line out the door, and I say, "All right, Felipe, now we got to go do a catering party," and we're running from one thing to the next, and it's just Memorial Day to Labor Day is when the gunshot starts, and you got to just try to do what you can within those months because that's when everything's happening. And unfortunately, it's during fishing season. But
Right. Now, how many minutes before you came to the captain's meeting for the tournament did you tell Felipe that he was going to make lobster rolls that you brought for everybody at Whale's Tail?
Yeah, no, he had to. He had to prep that a little bit ahead of time because we pulled that fresh for you guys.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Speaking of Whale's Tail, we're going to head out there.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you're welcome to join me and Sash because he would love to have you out there as well.
Yeah, Sash is killing it out there. I mean, I was there in the beginning before he started. We actually are one of his purveyors.
Yep.
Amongst many. But he built something beautiful out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really like...
it's unique.
Yeah.
And it needed to be out there. It needed to be unique. So it took a lot of thought that went into that. You can tell that's not just, let's relocate Whale's Tail.
Right. It's still the Whale's Tail, but it's the Whale's Tail and more.
That's right. It's fabricated for the region.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and he did such a great job with that.
Oh, yeah. He knows the restaurant industry. That's his forte.
100%.
You know?
And we're coming out there, Sash. You're going to be one of the episodes come. Once it gets busy in May and things happen, once we get maybe before or after Memorial Day weekend, Bay Rats and Buoys is coming out to Whale's Tail, just like we promised, and we came out to J&M Seafood. We appreciate everything that you've done, that even the phone call from Jacob and how it all started. We're very grateful for you jumping on board graciously to be a grand prize sponsor for our first tournament. Which was just epic.
Yep.
And this year it's going to grow. We know we're going to do at least 30 boats because the word's out. It was a great tournament. We had a great event. And we're trying to make it bigger and better this year so that more people will want to be involved.
Right.
And we created the Fishing League because we wanted more than just a tournament. We want to be able to compete all season long. And how cool is that you could have your own fishing team?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And J&M has a fishing team in the league, and you guys can come up. If you put the boat in the water, you come up with. You can't be J&M Seafood. Can't be the name of the team. You guys are way more creative than that. You got to come up with a cool name and compete in the open division. And we want you in there competing with everybody. And we're excited to see you out there. We really are. So I don't care. Good luck with the baby. God bless this new baby. But you're coming out fishing, even if you got to come on my boat.
That's right. I think that's what's going to end up happening.
You know, that's fine too. You know, we would love to. You didn't come out last year because you had windows.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't want to be that guy that says, all right, Gage, you got to be back at the dock now. My wife's going to find out.
Well, yeah, all right. So, you know what? That happens. I get it. But, yeah, you don't want to be that guy. That's one of the top 3 things. One of my videos went viral on Instagram. It got 2.3 million views teaching you how to throw a cast net. And that was thanks to my son who videotaped me throwing a cast net the day before. And I threw a perfect pancake, and it caught like 50 bunker, and everybody got like 300,000 views.
Wow.
And people asked me, hey, could you teach me how you threw that?
Right.
That sparked me to make the video that got the millions of views, but it all happened right in our marina.
Yeah.
All those videos were filmed on an iPhone right in the marina in Huntington. Spur of the moment.
Right. It's incredible.
No thought, no process. Just sit down, do it. Let's go. Boom.
Yeah.
You know? So I love our location. We're blessed. We have such a great area. You're obviously more than welcome anytime you come out with us. And if your wife calls and you got to get back, I could drop. She can come get you like at the Coast Guard station.
Snack, right?
I'll drop you at the Coast Guard station. I don't think they're going to be using that this year or next year. They're done.
Right.
Yeah, they're closing that down.
Really?
Yeah, I heard they're moving out of there.
Wow.
So I wonder what's going to happen with that. That'd be a nice location for J&M Seafood.
Yeah, that's right. Pull up and get your lobster roll.
Or at least pull up and get crushed ice or something. I always said that would be a good business on the water.
Yeah.
You know, nobody delivers food or ice on the water in our area.
No.
So any social media, let's plug Facebook, website, anything you want to plug so that the loyal listeners, because they're going to come support you. Now, I know you're going to see guys from the fishing club. They're going to hit the East Northport store. They're going to be out here. They're going to hit the East Setauket store.
Yep.
And any of the listeners that see this, come check out this shop. It is second to none. People are walking in all morning and they're giving it rave reviews because they see the camera here. That was kind of nice of them, though.
Yeah,
they didn't have to do that.
Absolutely.
You know, so, yeah, plug social media. Let us know where to find you.
Yeah, you can find us at jmseafood.com, a website as well as Instagram. We post a lot of specials on there for stuff that's happening, events that we're doing. And I don't know if I even told you this yet, but we're rolling out with our prepared menu. So next month we'll be doing full takeout. So you want to get, a fish and chip platter or a lobster roll or, a salmon wrap, stuff like that. It's going to be in full swing. And I mean, Angelo's behind the kitchen over here. Felipe's over there. And these guys have been in their kitchen the whole lives.
Right,
So you're going to get good food.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, J&M Seafood, you're always going to get good
That's
food.
Right. That is
you've really created a great brand, which is why it expanded. I mean, this place is incredible. And glad to hear that you're doing the cooking over here, Angelo, holding it down, because this place needs to function and be at the top notch, just like East Northport was, without thinning out the staff.
Right.
So you had to put that process into it.
100%.
You know?
Mean, when we're at the height of the season, I mean, we have sometimes 12, 11 guys working on a daily basis.
Right.
Just to keep up with the daily operations, whether it be, all right, we're going to do a raw bar today, or lobster bake for 150 people, or the retail store's got a line out the door. You got to just be ready to tackle whatever gets thrown at you.
I was just going to say, whatever comes your way, you got to be ready to handle it. And if you're not, that's how you implode.
Right. And
you haven't, you've grown. So you've handled it correctly. Kudos to you. Good job. Great staff, great owner, and a phenomenal facility that everybody should come and check out. You'll see us on social media. We're going to post a lot of fun stuff. This podcast is going up today. I didn't put one up Thursday, guys, because I knew I was coming here. This was the secret weapon we didn't want to tell everybody about. But we're finally here at J&M Seafood, and really, thanks for having us. Thanks for hosting Bay Rats and Buoys here.
Anytime.
This is awesome.
Thank you for shining a little light out here. And like I said, hopefully me and you are going to fish a little bit this summer.
Yeah, keyword there was a little bit.
Yeah.
But something, it only gets better. My kids are playing ice hockey now, and they get to that age where they love fishing. My kids love flutter spooning.
Right.
I mean, wait till you're telling me that your kids love to flutter spoon, because my daughter loves it as much as my son.
Right.
And they both play ice hockey, so girls, boys, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And today's youth, that's what I loved about Anthony at Go Deep. He's promoting fishing for the youth out in Montauk, and to me, that's phenomenal. I promote it in our area. I do want to plug this to close this out. I don't have any of the information in front of me. I will put details in the description of this video. There's a young man that came up to me in our area, and he said to me, Gage, I love the podcast. I see you on your boat all the time. I see you on the commercial towboat. He's like, I'm hosting a tournament to raise money for cancer.
Okay.
And I was like, bro, your heart's in the right place. This is awesome. He was doing like a $50 get in, $25 will go to cancer. I'm like, no way. It's a $100 entry fee to get into the tournament. He's doing it from like 12 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's June. It's like I think it's June 5th. Don't quote me on this. I don't have the paperwork in front of me. But I was blown away that the youth of today actually wants to host a fishing tournament to raise money for cancer. And I said,
incredible.
You'll have no problem getting people to help you out. And I told him who to go to and do some stuff. And I said, I'm all in to help him out on June 5th. So Anthony out and Go Deep MTK. I just want you to know this youth movement is going to be bigger than we all expect. Get ready for it. These kids that are out there fishing are pretty hardcore. And I think it's great for our community and the fishing, in our Long Island. It really is. It's great to see. And I'm just going to tell everybody, go sign up for thefishingleague.com, because that is going to kick ass. Super excited about that this season. And we'll hope we see you on the leaderboard.
That's right.
So go sign up. Matt from J&M Seafood, Captain Gage signing off. Over and out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Be sure to visit sandcitycharter.com and follow Captain Gage on all our social media channels.